Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about laughter, having fun. You have to find time in your life to laugh. Laugh more. Laugh every day. Do you laugh every day? I find that to be an interesting question, one that I never really thought about. I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and I asked her, when was the last time that you had a good laugh? And she honestly didn't know. And she was like, well, I don't know. I mean, I think I watched a show last week and it was funny. If you can't remember the last time that you laughed, it's been too long. Laugh every day. Not like a crazy person where you're just sitting there in a room looking at a wall going, ha, ha, ha. Find something to laugh at. You got to have a sense of humor. Got to have a sense of humor about life. People take this shit so seriously. You ruin your life taking everything so seriously. And there's a lot of people that take a lot of things seriously right now. And it overwhelms them. You can release some of that overwhelmed feeling, that built up tension, the pressure. You can release some of that through laughter. Find a comedian. I love comedians. I'll go online and check out some stand-up comedy. The comedy channel on cable TV a long time ago, used to just be straight up stand-up comedy. That's all they had. They would just run fucking stand-up comics all the time. It was great. They don't do that at all anymore. You got to search for it. But I love stand-up comics. I could watch an hour of just about anybody and start laughing. I can laugh at the dumbest shit. I've had to hold on to my sense of humor through all the bullshit that I've been through. And I know people that have been through so much worse than me. I know I talk about stuff on this channel like, oh man, I've been through so much. I know people that have just been through so much more than me. I mean, it's just mind-blowing how they're still alive and how they not only survived it, but they're happy and they can laugh and be joyful. A buddy of mine is like that. He's older than me. He's pushing 60. He might be 60 at this point. And he was, I don't know if his status right now, but he was a very heavy hitter, heavy hitter, big shot within the Latin Kings. Puerto Rican guy from the Bronx. Real good dude. He's had such a hard life. You get him talking about stuff and it's like, oh my God. It's just unbelievable, some of the shit that he's been through. And he laughs, I think, just about more than anybody I've ever known. I don't know if I've ever seen him angry. And I know he gets angry because he tells stories about, his fits of rage and all kinds of stuff. But just hanging out with him as a buddy, it's amazing that somebody that has gone through so much really messed up shit, that he's somehow retained a sense of humanity and cannot be soured by it, isn't cynical, isn't ruined by trauma. Your sense of humor will help you get over the past and get through your emotional attachments to the past. Just go find something to laugh at. Laugh until you cry. When was the last time you did that? Those are the best laughs. I love that. I mean, it's rare. You can't force it. It has to be organic. It has to be natural. It's the best when it's with somebody else. And you're having that mutual moment and you're feeding off of each other's humor and you guys are both on the same plane with it and you're feeding to like a joke that now exists beyond you and it's just making you cry and you're just begging each other to stop. Everything you say furthers it more and it makes it more funny. That's the best. That's the best type of shit. You forget about all your problems in those moments. Forget about the world. You forget about all that bullshit you complain about all the time. All the stuff that you're stressed about. Your doom and gloom, Gotham City outlook, where, oh, it's so awful, everything's so terrible. This switching back and forth between fear and outrage that you do all day long. That just goes away in those moments of laughter. So go find something to laugh at. I wish I was more funny. I do stand-up comedy. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a stand-up comic. But that's an incredibly hard job. And I knew a guy who did it. He was, unfortunately, in my opinion, good dude. I still know him to this day. I didn't think he was really all that funny. And he was living in Hollywood. Everybody's trying to be in the industry. They don't even call it the entertainment industry anymore. They just call it the industry. And that's like a Hollywood thing. Oh, I'm in the industry. And he tried his heart out. We all hung out in a crew. It was like 7 of us or whatever. And we're all neighbors. All lived in the same little tight little area. Hung out all the time. Drank together. Did drugs together. Went and partied together all through Hollywood together. So one time he invites us to one of his gigs, and he's like, "Why don't you come out and check out my stand-up comedy thing?" And it was at what was it? Was it Bordner's? No, there's a place. I think it was the Sinister Bar, whatever, over in Hollywood. There's a bunch of famous bars over there, and so he was there at one of these famous bars. And if you're familiar with the Hollywood bar scene, it's definitely one you know of. I just can't remember it. And we go sit in the front row. We got seven of us or more. We got the whole front row. And our buddy is up there with the microphone, and he goes into his jokes. And it's like 4 comics, I guess 3 comics. And he goes up first, and he goes into his jokes. It turns out his humor, his jokes, were all about us. His group of friends. And he's like, "Oh, I got this group of friends that I hang out with, and there's this guy named Sky, and this is how Sky talks, and this is how Sky walks," and he's sitting there imitating me. And then he goes down the line and imitates all of us, like in a fairly derogatory way. And nobody in the audience is laughing because they don't know who he's talking about. They have no idea what this fucking guy's talking about. But we do. And we're all sitting there with our fucking jaws dropped like, we had no idea, dude, that you were writing humor down about us. We just thought you were one of our friends. Everything that we say is now turned into a joke. And so in the middle of his set, we're all looking at each other just like, what the fuck? And he's just getting worse and worse, just making fun of us. And it wasn't funny. We have good sense of humor. I can laugh at myself. I love making fun of myself, and I can laugh at myself. You have to be able to. But I was offended. We were all offended. We all mutually looked at each other and was just like, fuck this shit. Let's just go get drunk somewhere. Fuck this motherfucker. And we got up, the whole front row. We got up and filed out. Excuse me, whatever. And single file and walked out. Everybody in the audience is just like, what the hell just happened? He was on stage, just shocked. We never spoke of it. When he came by the next day to drink beer, nobody said a word. We just acted like it was just another day. We weren't like, what the fuck, dude? He got the message. It's really hard to be funny, and I commend those people that truly are. That's a gift from God, and you should definitely do whatever you can to cultivate that, because what you really are is you're a healer. You're healing people around you. It's important what you're doing. So thank you. It's all just food for thought. Thanks for watching.